Hey guys, it's Henry Akins here at my gym, Dynamix Martial Arts in West LA, and I'm just going to show a couple warm-up exercises that we do. The first one we're going to start out with is the hip movement, and the hip movement, or the shrimp, is the most important movement in all of Jiu-Jitsu. It's the movement that you use the most when you are on your back, on the ground, or on the bottom. And it's used for basically two reasons. The first reason it's used is sometimes to create space so that you can recover the guard. So you can use it to create space to get either your knee inside or your foot back inside. The second reason that it's used a lot is to help you get on your side. Okay. So when I do my hip movement, we're going to be here. So the first one I'm going to do is just with one foot. Okay. So with one foot, what I'm going to do, I want to plant just the ball of my foot or the toe of my foot on the ground with my heel off the ground. Okay, so this is really important that I want my heel off the ground. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one leg up, put my foot as close as I can to my butt. Okay, the farther away my foot, the less effective my hip movement, or the less I can move my hip. So I want to bring my foot as close as I can to my butt. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put weight into my shoulder. So I'm lifting my butt off the ground, putting all my weight into the opposite shoulder. Okay, so from here I put my weight into my opposite shoulder. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch my leg and pivot on my shoulder so that I can move my hip out. So by the end of the movement, what you see is my heel is actually off the ground. So in order for me to get sideways, what happens is my foot actually turns. So my heel comes off the ground, my leg is completely straight, and you see I end up on my side. So one more time. If I put my foot on the ground, and I push into my opposite shoulder, lifting my butt off the ground. Okay, so I want to take my butt off the ground so there's not a lot of friction. It doesn't drag on the ground. So foot comes up, right? I'm going to put weight into my opposite shoulder. Now what I'm going to do is as I push off the ground, you see how my heel turns up. So if I turn on my side, I want to still have my foot connected to the ground. Now I'm completely sideways, and I'm going to be, by the end of the movement, I'm kind of looking down at my feet. Okay, so one foot up here. When I do this movement too, what I like to do is I like to pull my bottom elbow underneath me, and I like to push with my top arm. This helps me turn even more to my side. Okay, so here. So this is how I like to finish when I'm done, almost like I'm touching my toes. So make sure that I'm really, really on my side. Foot on the ground, close to my butt. Okay, I'm going to push off the ball of my foot. As you notice, when I push off the ball, my foot kind of pivots, and I pivot on my shoulder. Okay, so now I'm able to move my hip a huge distance. The more that I push with my leg, the straighter my leg is, the more distance I create. So what you can see is if I just do this, I didn't move my butt that much. But if I stretch my leg all the way, I really create a really, really big hip movement. All right? Yeah, that's everyone should practice this every day if you do Jiu-Jitsu, if you train Jiu-Jitsu. Like I said, it's the most important movement in all of Jiu-Jitsu.